Hi, my name is Aaron Emerson. I'm a 24-year-old recovering heroin addict from Mason, Michigan. And just this Sunday, I was featured in an article in the Lansing State Journal on the front page of the Sunday edition, an article about heroin addiction and the anti-overdose drug Narcan. I was featured with my parents, Wes and Rhonda, and we shared our story of my addiction and recovery and what we thought about the drug Narcan. And over the last week, since it has been published in the paper, I have been thinking a lot about why I share my story and put myself out there. My story was published in the paper in Lansing, and it was also on the front page of Battle Creek, the Battle Creek Enquirer, and I've had stories in the past published about me on TV, other newspapers, and I've been on the radio. And every time I share my story with the media, I think about why I do that. Obviously, I do it to spread hope and to inspire others and to share my story of addiction and inspire other people to find recovery. But talking to a couple people this week, it brought up another thought I have frequently when I do this, and that is why put your face out there and share with the world that you were a heroin addict and that you were a junkie and all this stuff that people in the community and in society in America still think. Um, you know, a lot has changed in the last few years about raising awareness for addiction, and a lot of work has been put in by people trying to erase the stigma attached to addiction. And a heroin addict is not anymore a person on the street homeless with long hair and scraggly beard. It it's everyone. It's them, and it's people like me. It's people from the suburbs, from the city, from small towns, from farms, from black, white, Asian, Hispanic, doctors' kids, pastors' kids, teachers' kids, anyone's kids, kids with no parents. It is affecting everyone. Addiction is affecting everyone, and it is hard sometimes to share my story like that and to put myself out there knowing that people are going to judge me for that, and a lot of people are going to see that and think that, oh, he's just a junkie and he's only been clean a couple years, he'll probably start back using or stuff like that. One time in the paper, I had there was an article about me in the paper, and I was reading on the social media site for the paper that shared it, and they shared it on their Facebook, and I got a bunch of comments from people, and so many nasty comments that I read. I remember one guy said something like, "Why not just let the junkies overdose and die? Let's just let them kill themselves out. That will help society." And there was a bunch of comments like that, and it really bothered me. And it doesn't really bother me as a person. It's just it bothers me to know that there's so many other people out there that see these type of comments, and um, it makes them not want to come out in recovery and try to get recovery and speak out because they know that there's a lot of people that still think like that. And that is one reason why I do this, is to show people that A, the face of addiction has changed, B, that there is hope, and also to, show kids and young people what happens when you decide to pick up drugs and prescription medications that lead to this stuff, because I am confident that addiction is a disease, but obviously to become addicted, you have to pick up a drug first, and that in itself is the mistake that a lot of people make, is picking that drug up for the first time. Nobody goes in to picking up a drug thinking, all right, in 2 years from now, I'm going to be a heroin addict. I'm going to be living on the streets of Lansing, or I'm going to be serving a year in jail. Nobody thinks that, oh, I'm going to try this Vicodin at a party, and 5 years later, I'm going to be dead with a needle sticking out of my arm. And that is why I do this as well, to show people not to do this, but also to show people in addiction still, what happens when you totally commit yourself to recovery. Because in addiction, I never thought I would live like this. I never thought I could be happy. And I still struggle daily. I still suffer with depression and different things. But my life now is just so much better, and I'm so much more happier. Happiness is something I never thought I would be able to achieve when I was in active addiction. But here I am, and I'm happy, and I'm taking it one day at a time, and that's why I do this. That's why I put my face out there. I'm not going to stop doing that until people start finding recovery and people stop dying. People are dying every day from this. I'm not going to stop doing this until parents stop losing their kids from this. I'm not going to stop doing this until a parent doesn't go to bed at night waking up in the morning finding their kid dead. I'm not going to stop doing this until sisters aren't finding their brothers dead on the couch in the middle of the night anymore. I'm not going to stop doing this until all that stops. And there's always going to be drug use in this world and in this country. That it's inevitable. But if my story can touch one person or help one person, then it's worth it. And that is exactly why I do this. And I'm willing to accept that people know I'm an addict, and people know that I was a heroin addict and a junkie and stuff like that, terms that society uses. But that's not how I view myself today, and it's up to you what you want to label me as, but I prefer not to use a label. I call myself a recovering heroin addict, but that's up to you to decide ultimately. But I'm not going to stop doing this until things start changing, until people start finding hope, because there's so many people out there that are living in active addiction that are never going to find recovery. But maybe if I share my story enough, they will see that it is possible. And like I said, if I can inspire one person to not pick up drugs, or inspire one person to seek recovery, then I will feel that my past wasn't for nothing. Because my past is not pretty. And it's hard to share that with the world and share all the mistakes I made and stupid stuff I did. But that's what I have to live with today, and I am willing to accept that people may judge me, because saving a life or preventing somebody from making the same mistakes I did is worth it. So I just want you to get hope out of this and to see that recovery is possible, because it is. And my saying today that I say all the time now is, if you are alive, hope is alive. And that is the truth. So God bless you all.